Analyst Mark Schultz of North Star Commodities is one of the traders who call the latest cattle on feed report friendly to the beef sector. Extension Ag economist Brian Williams of Mississippi State has his own thoughts on what the numbers say. Well, Brian, let's begin by recapping the significant numbers from that report.
Well, just to run through the numbers, our placements were down 8.3% from a year ago, and then our cattle marketed was down 10.2% from a year ago. And then when you add those numbers up, our total number of cattle on feed was up about 0.6% from a year ago.
Well, would you say the overall impact from that report is major or minor as far as the markets are concerned?
It's a fairly minor impact on this report in particular. There wasn't really any major surprises. Placements were a little bit higher than expected, but otherwise everything was really in line with what the expectations were.
So kind of drilling down a little bit, does it appear fewer or more cattle are being kept out on pasture right now?
We're seeing a lot more cattle being kept in the pasture. Another thing that showed up in this report is the weight of the cattle being placed is still fairly heavy, and then we're also, so those cattle are being kept on grass longer, and then we're also seeing a lot more heifer retention this year than in years past.
And of course, we've heard a lot about heavy rains in many parts of the country in recent weeks. That, I guess, has made feedlots less desirable as far as where the cattle are.
Yeah, the rain makes those feedlots real muddy, and that adds stress on the cattle, and they burn more energy trying to walk through the mud and stuff, and it decreases their efficiency, and they just don't gain weight as fast as they do if it were dry.
So are the futures going to be considered kind of friendly now, or I know we're a few days away from these numbers of this report coming out, but what kind of tone is that setting?
Well, the markets initially they were doing fairly good, but the last few days we've seen the futures come down. But on the other hand, the cash prices have been holding strong.
And feeder cattle, are we seeing pressure increasing on the feeders?
Yeah, the big thing with feeder cattle is the time of year. First of all, we're coming into fall. It's just right around the corner, and that's when we see a lot of cattle flood the markets. And then we're also seeing corn prices come up a little bit with all this rain again. It's got some concerns about the planted acres, and so that's caused corn to come up, which has hit feeders on the bottom line.